All right, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Whomever you may be, wherever you may be, Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. So we're going to get into this article right here. It says execution squads update to DOD directive expands military authority to use lethal force against American citizens. All right. Bear with me. All right, it says execution squads update to DOD directive expands military authority to use lethal force against American citizens. All right. So it says here, with the election only a few weeks away, the Department of Defense has given the U.S. military authority to assist in domestic law enforcement, including giving them the right to use lethal force. All right. Let me light it up for you, including giving them the right to use lethal force against American citizens under certain circumstances. And as of right now, give me the election talk and the the two-sidedness with what's going on between blue and red. What would be the reason behind the use of lethal force? It would be in the case of a civil unrest, a riot, or whatever the case may be. But something's brewing. Okay, from them to even mention something like this. All right. So it says it's a development that has largely gone under the radar, despite its very significant implications. DoD Directive 5240.01 is not new, but it did just get an update last month that is rather convenient for those in charge and deeply upsetting to those who value their constitutional rights. And they're really just, at this point, the Constitution is just being put on the back burner, okay, little by little anyways. Especially with one of those main things we always talk about that they're constantly attacking is the freedom of speech, all right, and redress of grievances. So, they're trying to cut out you having anything to really, any opinion that's opposite of the one that they're offering. Any point of view that's different from the one that they're giving you. So it says it expands the list of circumstances in which the DoD is allowed to use deadly force while helping civilian law enforcement, potentially paving the way for using such force under a very vague definition of national security conditions. Okay, but what will cause a national security condition? It says although directives issued by the DoD tend to pertain to internal policy, in this case, the ramifications could affect every American and potentially even infringe on their constitutional rights under certain, we just mentioned that, under certain circumstances, right? And that Constitution has slowly been done away with because they're moving to a new age. That's why they have these slogans like "Make America Great Again" and "We're not going back." You're not going back because you're moving forward to a digital age. And you making America great again is having everybody as, permanent, slaves, okay? 15-minute cities. And that's why they have all these slogans. You will own nothing, you'll be happy. You will eat Z-Bugs and you will be happy. And so on and so forth. And they're able to carry these things out because they're that left hand from the Lord. And I try to pull this up, but as you see, I downloaded it, but I was trying to open that up. Maybe we'll see at the end. I'll probably put a pause and see if I can find that. So it says this new iteration replaces the 2016 version of the directive, which was largely concerned with collecting intelligence and protecting civil liberties. In the updated version, lethal force can be used where there are imminent threats as long as it follows proper legal frameworks and gains approval from the Secretary of Defense. That's called covering their tracks. Okay, rhyme and reason, right? Perhaps one of the most worrying aspects of the update is its proximity to the election, with Americans headed to the polls in just 6 weeks. Concerns about election integrity are ramping up, and history has shown us that those concerns are more than justified. And yeah, we're at a position in history, in this American history, where this particular election that's taking place seems to be the most how I want to say the one that's most likely to get the most violent. Okay, between Trump and Harris, right? So it says many wonder if the adjustments to the directive were made with potential civil. There you go. You see, with potential civil unrest surrounding any voter manipulation in mind. Now they want to throw that in there, but we know these things are going behind closed doors. But you get the point. It says any voter manipulation in mind and whether it could result in military intervention should something happen with the election. That upsets the masses. There we go. Should something happen with the election that upsets the masses, and there have been enough situations that have went on to bring it to the point where if the red wins, the blue's going to go crazy. If the blues win, the reds are going to go crazy. So regardless of what candidate is pushed forward, okay, more than likely there's going to be trouble brewing from one side or the other. So it says those who question pandemic origins and Vicky efficacy are now considered domestic terrorists. All right, those who question those pandemic origins and Vicky's efficacy are now considered domestic terrorists. There's also the fact that the Department of Homeland Security has recently broadened its definition of domestic terrorism with a list of potential threats, now including individuals who question election integrity, as well as Vicky efficacy and the origins of the pandemic. In other words, natural health advocates who question the safety of C19 Vickies or future inventions created for other health emergencies could find themselves subjected to potentially lethal force and interventions on the pretense of protecting national security due to their classification as potential domestic extremists. And I don't know why I thought about it, but there's certain things that they've come and brought out in the past, but people stopped talking about, like when they issued a thing for I think they were talking about New York, where at any sign of sickness that can come and take you away, and not even take you some undisclosed location and not even give you a release date. And I think they spoke the same thing about Florida. I believe there was another place, all right? But it would be types of situations like that all over the states, okay? Giving Jacobs trouble, all right? Let me see here. Okay, this is the end. So I think it's right here. It says there are a lot of ways this could impact American civil liberties. With the new definition of national security, threats cause some people to be targeted because of their political beliefs. There you go. Political beliefs, religious beliefs, racial background, and so many other things. Ezra spoke of these things. Actually, not just Ezra, other prophets too. Okay, but the point being, these civil wars, unrest, and all these things are coming, man, one way or another. The Lord is bringing these things on the earth. So it says, could the higher degree of military involvement in collecting domestic intelligence violate Americans' privacy? We have no privacy, man. There's cameras everywhere, okay? And the majority of these big old major companies, they have some ties back to the banking families. So even these companies, these stores that have cameras, well, those are also eyes for the elites, man. There's eyes everywhere, man. It says, might the expanded authorities granted by the new directive affect our right to carry out legitimate protest? What impact could it have on civilian oversight of the military? There are a lot of questions about the huge legal shift seen in this directive and what it may mean for Americans. Unfortunately, we probably won't get answers to them because this directive update has not been covered by the mainstream media, and the public is mostly unaware that Americans are slowly losing some of their individual rights in favor of national security. All right, and that's the end of that article. I was actually going to play it, but I'm going to keep it short. What I'll do is I'll see if I can't find what's this dude name? Dawu777. I think he spoke on this. I haven't watched this video yet, but I did see it. So I'm gonna see what else he's talking about. Maybe there's some other stuff in there because I can pull this up myself. But I'm pretty sure he's probably able to pull up that DOD directive, that we try to pull up there. So I'll see if I can link that, because sometimes these links will send you to some other. It'll be the right link, but it'll send you to some other page somewhere. Like, what is this? Like I tried to do that before, with those rats coming out the sewer. That video is still on YouTube, but when trying to like post the link, when you go to the link, it won't take you to that to that actual video link. Even though it's the right video, the link and everything, it'll take you somewhere else. So I don't know what's up with that. So if possible, hopefully, I'll give you the right link so you can go and watch that video I'm talking about here at Dawu777. This is just something quick. So, Lord, will you edify, Shalom?
This is Dabu7. A heads up here for some moves that were just made by the Pentagon that slid under the radar for the most part, and most people don't realize what they've done here. The Pentagon issuing a federal directive that now allows the military to use lethal force against Americans. And we'll take a look at this here. We'll go down to page 13, and it starts to speak of here of what the Secretary of Defense has in his power. These are the shots he can call. Lloyd Austin, right here, in terms of a decision to approve request for these types of assistances. They say right here under C, assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force and that it's likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. This is telling you right there, if they are called in as backup in a hostile situation, a confrontation between law enforcement and the people, any Civil War, revolutionary type of setting here, the feds are saying that the military can use lethal force. It says it right there in front of your face. It also goes on after this to say that they can use drones on us here in the United States. People, you better wake up. This is what they've got planned. It's on the books right now. And you better hope you're in a state that has passed laws where they don't allow this to happen. For instance, in my state of Kentucky, they put a law on the books that the feds cannot come here and support any type of police activity like that whatsoever. If they do come here, the feds are on their own. The police can't help them. The sheriffs can't help them. National Guard can't help them. No one. They're on their own if they try to come in here in Kentucky. So, just a heads up to what's going down here. I see this playing big here in the future. I'll leave a link. Join me for the live streams where I talk about this in greater detail. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Dabu77. Much love.